Welcome to Dental Business RX. Practice success in 30 minutes or less.
Thank you for calling ABC Dental.
The treatment coordinator position for a dental practice is a super hot topic right now. Whether it's how to find one, hire one, train one, or most importantly, how to get them productive, it is a topic that is in high demand. We see this here at MGE. Just about every client trains one or more treatment coordinators at some point on their program. When it's done right, the stats tell the tale, and by that I mean collections blast into the stratosphere. And with all of that, the area we get the most questions has to do with what should a treatment coordinator be doing on a day-to-day basis. It's fairly common knowledge that a treatment coordinator would be involved in treatment presentations with the doctor and eventual financial discussions and financial arrangements. But that doesn't take all day. So what else do they do? And even more, what are some of the day-to-day tools the treatment coordinator should use to ensure that they hit the collections targets for the practice? And again, most importantly, ensure that as many patients as possible accept, pay for, and get the treatment that they need to improve their oral health. Well, that's what I want to talk about in this week's episode. We're calling it a day in the life of a dental treatment coordinator. We're going to cover the purpose, statistics, their day-to-day and weekly and monthly duties, as well as the tools a treatment coordinator would use to ensure that they achieve the practice's goals. My name is Jeff Bloomberg, and I'm your host. And I'm joined this week by Sabri Bloomberg, our Deputy Chief Operating Officer. Yes, we are related. Sabri, I think I have you all set up over there, right?
I am. I'm ready to
I
go.
already know that. It's just a way to kind of transition. I should probably come up with a better way of saying that.
It's fine.
And just, if you've been listening to the podcast for any length of time, you know who Sabri is. If this is your first time listening, you've never heard Sabri before, Sabri is in charge of all of our technical delivery here at MGE. She's our senior technical person. She's trained thousands of our clients. She's also helped get a lot of the treatment coordinators for our clients started. And to that end, on our online platform, DDS Success, the treatment coordinator training course is actually Sabri. And it's not just her explaining, how to do the job. There's lots of demo videos as well where she's doing different types of treatment presentations and things like this. So if you want to check it out, I'll put a link to it on the episode webpage. That is my shameless plug of the episode. And if you want, you can also, the platform is $289 a month with no contracts. You can cancel any time. I'll give you a discount code, RX269. You enter it when you sign up. But I'll put a link to it on the episode webpage if you want to check that course out as well as all the other content. We have lots of positional training, etc. All right, enough of that. So Sabri.
Yes.
Treatment coordinator.
Yes.
So why don't we start off with the simple stuff?
Okay.
Let's pretend that I'm a client. I've brought you my prospective treatment coordinator, or the one I've hired to be a treatment coordinator.
Yes.
And I've asked you, hey, could you kind of give them some tips to just get started?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we start off with the basics? What's their purpose and what is their statistic?
Okay. So their purpose is to get the patient fully paid up for the treatment that the doctor recommended.
Okay.
Right? So it is the doctor's job to enlighten the patient on the treatment. Like go over the treatment with them, why they need the treatment, what's going to happen if they don't need the treatment, and get the patient in agreement with doing the treatment. Once that agreement has been reached, now we have to figure out how is this going to be paid for. Now the doctor should obviously mention a fee, right? But figuring out how it's going to be paid for, that's a treatment coordinator's job.
Okay, cool. So that's their job.
Yes.
Now, that obviously includes not just the patients who are in the practice.
No, usually, a lot of dentistry that gets presented doesn't close the first time it gets presented because the person needs to think about it, consult a spouse, or wait for the insurance to change. Or there's all kinds of reasons why it's not. Sometimes the patient just mentally needs to let it marinate for a second, right? Okay. So there are lots of reasons why it's not closing right there in front of you. And what I see is that in dentistry, they tend to focus on what's right in front of them, right? And all that follow-up that needs to happen doesn't happen. So a treatment coordinator would do a lot of follow-up to get those patients on board that maybe weren't closed when they were in the practice.
Understood. So we've got their purpose. What would be the statistic? So I'm going to give them a stat. What is it?
Income.
Collections.
Collections. That's it.
Just overall collections.
Correct. That's the job. We've discussed this before. Treatment coordinator is just a pretty word for saying salesperson.
Got it.
Right? It's the medical term or the dental term.
Sure.
For salesperson.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird. You go to a dental practice as my sales manager. That
Right.
would be a little strange.
Right. So, but that's essentially what it is.
This is Vinny, my sales manager.
Right.
Okay.
So what's the job of the salesperson? Well, their job is to make the money.
Sure, sure. So then, not to get into the weeds too much on the statistic thing,
Yeah.
it's just something that occurred to me. And I remember a client asking me this. So we had a treatment coordinator. He also had someone handling insurance.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know. Obviously, cleanings and most basic procedures had insurance coverage, right?
Sure.
But does the treatment coordinator get to count those insurance collections as well?
They do if it's overall income.
Got it. So they're just responsible for total income.
Correct, because those insurance collections would have never been able to have happened if the treatment coordinator hadn't closed the treatment first. So that was simply part of the payment.
Okay, so basically, if we collect $180,000 this month, that's on the treatment coordinator.
Correct. Now, obviously, you know how we feel about an insurance-driven practice.
Sure.
We want a patient-centered practice. We
Sure.
want the focus on what the patient needs, not what the insurance company says they can get this year.
Got it.
Right. So if we see only insurances, then obviously that's not a salesperson or a treatment coordinator. That's somebody who handles your insurances.
Right, but if I'm doing a $15,000 case and the treatment coordinator collects it all, and I'm getting $1,500 from insurance,
That's fine.
yeah, I mean that's fine. And the insurance coordinator would be insurance collections.
Correct.
Got it. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so that's purpose and stats.
Yeah.
So, with all of this in mind, what would their day look like? So it's we start at 8 a.m.
Yes. Okay. So we start at 8 a.m. So usually the morning should start with a morning meeting. So the first thing that the treatment coordinator should do is make sure that they are prepared for the morning meeting. So the morning meeting, which has been called huddles and all kinds of different things, you and I have heard it called.
We call it the morning production meeting.
Exactly. But what it is essentially is a sales coordination meeting.
Got it.
Right? That's what your morning meeting is. We are coordinating the sales for the day so that we are all telegraphing the correct thing to the patient and we're all doing our part to get that patient on board with doing their treatment.
And we've also, just as an aside, 'cause people have asked me this question, if you don't mind me interjecting.
No.
But I'm supposed to be interviewing you.
Yes.
I should probably shut up. But
No, it's
no, I've had people ask, well, when am I supposed to go over technical stuff with the assistants? And I just do a separate little quick morning huddle on that stuff.
Yeah, that's a clinical meeting.
Right.
Right. So when we say morning meeting, we're saying, or morning production meeting, we're saying sales meeting.
Yeah, but also overall stats too.
Yeah,
for practice.
absolutely.
Okay, good, cool.
Absolutely.
All right.
So,
So how are they prepared? Sorry, I cut you
so
off there.
they need to make sure that the schedule that they have is correct, right? So usually there's changes in the schedule, so we want to make sure that they coordinate with the schedule coordinator. Any cancellations or changes to schedule have been noted because obviously they changed the coordination meeting, right? And then the second thing that they need to have is they need to have a lineup. Now this is a
Okay, so
really
explain a lineup.
misunderstood
Yeah,
word.
explain
right?
this, because I've had people say, "Here's my lineup." And that's not a lineup.
Right.
That's not a lineup.
So a lineup is a figure out of sorts.
Like they're lining up how to do what they want to do.
Correct. It's the plan for the day on where's this going to come from.
Got it.
How we're going to make this quota for today. And it has all the patients that we're going to get money from today, and how much maybe we need to add some on follow-up. So usually it's on there, okay, I need to follow up on this one, need to follow up on that one. But if we have a sales quota, and I'm talking purely from a business standpoint
Yeah, and
now,
we use
right?
the word quota where you may use the word goal.
So then essentially it's just a list on how that quota is going to be met for today.
Okay, so now let me just kind of spitball this with you here. So I look at my thing and my lineup. I shouldn't call it a thing, it's a lineup.
It's a lineup.
And I go, okay, these are the patients who are supposed to bring me money today, or like people have promised they're going to bring a payment or something like this, right? Or I have somebody who owes us some money, I'm going to talk to them,
Yeah.
right?
But
then,
it also has on there the cases we're going to present today.
right, that was, I guess, the question. So, like, okay, here's Joe Jones coming in. They're going to be in recall. Joe needs 4 inlays. So I'm putting that down as, I'm lining up how I could potentially make my daily goal or quota.
Correct. And you want to, I mean, if we have a quota of, let's say, 5,000 a day or 10,000 a day, your lineup shouldn't add up to your quota.
How much
right?
should it be?
3 times more than you need.
Okay, so this is an important point. I want you to clarify this. So if I have again, I know you just said it, but goal of 10,000, I need 30,000 lined up today.
On that lineup. Because
I'm
you're
not going to close them all.
No, you're not. And people are not going to show up because they got the flu, and that person you were planning on getting a hold of, you never get a hold of, and that person that promised to bring in the check is bringing it in next week. So you want to make sure that you build in some fat, because not everything's going to go your way. So 3 times is a very safe number.
All right, so when I walk into the morning production meeting, you expect me to walk in with a lineup
And a correct schedule.
and a correct schedule,
Yeah.
which I got from whoever does scheduling.
Correct.
Okay, so I walk in with my lineup. So now what do I do?
So now we do the morning production meeting and we're going through each patient. And when we get to the patients that, for example, like you said, I don't know, Joe Jones coming in for inlays and hygiene. When we get to that patient, the treatment coordinator would bring up, okay, so I want to present that case. Hygienist, make sure that you reiterate that treatment. The doctor's already gone over the treatment with him. And make sure that the doctor's available to at least come in and sprinkle some holy water on this thing.
Okay, so ideally, now you're kind of in a more advanced level here in my sense. Like, so just if I can throw that out there, normally, if, let's say this is a newer, someone like a listener, they haven't done the MGE sales training, and
Yes.
nobody's done it, right?
Yes.
So, like, let's say, in that case, we'd want the doctor to be there.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that the doc has time
Yes.
to go, hey, Joe, we need these 4 inlays done, da-da-da-da-da-da, cost X
Exactly.
amount, and then over to the treatment coordinator.
Correct. And
Got
also to give the hygienist a heads up that she needs to bring this up when she's with the patient.
Got it. Okay.
You know, but the thing that you don't want to have happen is that it all devolves down to the treatment coordinator alone.
So just like, what are you talking about? The doctor didn't say anything.
Yeah, and the
again.
hygienist never
Got it.
mentioned it. When there's lots of people who have contact with this patient before it goes to the treatment coordinator, and that's why I said it's a coordination meeting, your morning meeting.
Okay, so then would I look at it and go, Doc, how much time are you going to have available at that point? And the doc's like, oh, I got 15 minutes.
Correct. Or they might have 15 minutes at the beginning of the appointment instead of usually we like them to do the exam at the end, right? Well, the doctor may need to come in the beginning if they're doing a root canal or
Got it.
something like that, right? So this is the kind of stuff that you're figuring out in your morning meeting so that it's almost like you choreograph out the day.
Okay.
For delivery, for exams, for sales, for all of that.
So we pull off everything we wanted to pull off.
Exactly, and everybody's doing what they need to do in order to work with the patient to get the treatment that they need,
Understood. Okay.
right?
Okay.
So that's how the treatment coordinator's day starts.
Okay, now, maybe not the best question to ask you because we've just at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
But it's the first thought I had. And again, I'm hoping the listeners are thinking the same way, or I'm just not.
Actually, I have no idea what
Yeah.
you're going to ask me. I
It's
really
not going to
don't.
be bad. It's about treatment coordinators.
Okay.
Here's mainly the question. So let's say, because I'm supposed to line up 3 times
Yes.
my lineup,
Yeah.
my goal or quota.
Yeah.
So my goal or quota is 10,000, so I want to line up 30,000.
Yeah.
So let's say I line up only 20. Obviously, I'm going to hunt for other opportunities. But let's say it's really bad. Like I can only find like 5,000.
Yeah.
What do we do?
So this is bad planning, right? And that's why the treatment coordinator's job isn't just present the cases that are there.
Okay.
Right? And do follow up. Yeah, that's part of it. But that looking ahead on the schedule to make sure that there's enough to present every day, right, is part of the job so that we have time to fix these schedules so that we sit in the morning meeting and now we're figuring out we don't have enough to make the daily quota, right? Now it's a little late,
I see.
right? So you want to look ahead.
So, and I know maybe I'm screwing this up a little bit. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but it kind of applies here. Because I know you've got down and you're going to go over your weekly stuff, right?
Sure.
Would I have looked at the schedule for the week ahead? So let's say this is Wednesday.
Yes.
Is it Monday morning or Friday afternoon when I left the practice? Have I looked ahead and I see Wednesday looks pretty weak?
Correct.
And I'm taking action on Monday, Tuesday to make Wednesday beef up a bit?
Yeah, and if I have a scheduler, I'm coordinating with the scheduler. Like I'm printing the incomplete treatment list. I'm taking a look who's overdue for
Right.
hygiene that has outstanding treatment plans that we can still get on the schedule for that day. I'm calling in consults, like things that have been presented before that didn't close, and my follow-up has not been effective. Well, I'm going to want that patient back in front of me. Selling over the phone is usually not. It's not the funnest thing to do.
Right.
Right? But when that case wasn't closed when you left,
Right.
and now you're doing follow-up, sometimes you need to bring that patient back in for a consultation. Now, you don't want to tell them, like, hey, I would like you to come in so that we can sell you the case, because they probably wouldn't show up.
Right.
So, but you probably want to tell the patient, like, hi, the doctor asked me to reach out to you. Those 2 crowns that the doctor recommended last time, and the patient will probably say something like, yeah, I decided to do them later or whatever. And you go, yeah, that's totally fine. That's not a problem whatsoever. We know this is a big decision. But until you make that decision, we want to make sure that, those teeth are cracked and we're assuming that you're eating, right? So we don't want that to go bad. So the doctor wants you to come in just so that they can have a look to make sure everything's stable.
Understood.
Right? Until you make the decision to take care of it. Because we don't want you to come in on an emergency basis because those teeth correct.
Understood.
Right? So those are consult appointments. So those are things that I can do to kind of beef up my schedule, right? Working with existing patients to get their family members scheduled on the days that I need more sales opportunities. That's another thing that I can do, right? For example, sales opportunities, that's another thing that I can do. There are, on average, 2 extra people in a household with every one of your patients. And those and 60% of the people in the United States either don't have a dentist or have seen a dentist in the last 2 years but do not consider that they have a dentist. So 60% of the people in the households of your patients do not have a dentist. It is so simple to schedule these people by just asking the patient when they're right there in front of you, like, who do you have in your home right now that is currently not seeing a dentist? And they'll tell you. And then you tell them, okay, well, how do we get this person on the schedule? Like, do you call them? Can you schedule an appointment for them? How do we do this? Right? And kind of enlist their help to get their family members on the care as well. So there's always things that the treatment coordinator can do to beef up sales opportunities on the schedule, either working with the outstanding treatment list, adding new patients through referrals, or calling in consults. But it takes a little bit of foresight and initiative in order to do that, and that is part of their job.
Well, it's interesting. I didn't mean to push you ahead into the day-to-day
No,
duties.
it's totally fine.
But I thought what you said was one of the most valuable things that someone could get out of this, because I think this is where it goes missing. Specifically, I mean, we all know that if I want to affect the schedule, the more time you give me, the better chance I'm going to have to affect the schedule. If I have to fill an opening 3 days from now, that's a lot easier than filling an opening this afternoon or this morning.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm a treatment coordinator and my game is to make sure that patients are doing the treatment that they need and paying for it,
Correct.
Getting on the schedule and starting this treatment,
Correct.
and I'm figuring out Wednesday on Wednesday.
That's right.
Rather than looking at it last Friday and going, I'm going to have a problem on Wednesday. I have time to do something about it on Friday, Monday, Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Versus Wednesday morning. So to me, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
It was one of the more valuable insights, in my opinion,
Yeah.
was throwing what you threw out there of, you need to be looking at this earlier.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And if you have a good scheduling coordinator, with a lot of people who have a good treatment coordinator also have a good scheduling coordinator, which is an incredibly important position, right? You can literally break the entire practice from that position alone.
Well,
right?
I hope they would make the practice, not break it.
Yeah, make or break it. Right?
You can
So,
make the practice.
That great coordination between the treatment coordinator and the scheduling coordinator, so that the schedule coordinator puts together days that are a nice mix between production and sales, builds nice schedules like that, and the treatment coordinator is also looking ahead and contributing to that. That's ultimately what's going to stabilize those sales. Because if you have a consistent closing ratio and a consistent amount you present every day, you're going to have consistent sales.
Right.
Right? So, and that's what you want, that consistency. And that's what I see often with clients. They have these great days, and then they have these absolute garbage days. That's bad planning.
Right. That makes
You know?
sense. And sorry to throw you out there. I'll reel it back in now.
No, you're all right.
Because we're at the morning production meeting. And I just threw in the, what if my day lines up to be less? But let's say my day lined up, it's fine.
Yes.
I have a good lineup.
Yeah.
I finish the morning production meeting.
Yes.
What am I doing the rest
Well,
of the day?
it depends. You would be working on one of those two things. You would either be doing follow-up on the incomplete treatment list, or you'd be working on putting more potential sales on the schedule to beef up future days.
Or seeing patients if they're there, I guess, right?
Yeah, obviously you would be seeing the patients, but it's rare that you're going to be seeing patients every hour, right? You're going to have time to do these things. Now, this brings up an interesting point. Sometimes I see treatment coordinators that are so busy because there's so many new patients in this practice. They are so busy presenting cases, they have zero time to do follow-up. They have zero time to work with existing patients. So they're only doing a very small portion of the job. And when you find that, then it's time to get another treatment coordinator.
Well, it's interesting you say that. I saw this one practice you did this with.
Yeah,
The practice was averaging $260, $300 a month.
yeah,
You brought on a new treatment coordinator. You told me about this.
Yeah.
I saw the stat. and they went and did $479 the next month
Literally in 1 month.
because
That
the new person was just calling follow-ups.
That's correct. Doing follow-ups on cases already presented and not so focused on the new patients.
Okay.
Right? So you need to make sure that you have enough treatment coordinators to handle the potential sales in your practice, otherwise you're losing income.
Okay, so then my day, we do the lineup. And by doing that lineup,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I have a pretty good idea of when I'm going to have to see patients because I know
Yes.
when they're coming in.
Yes.
That new patient be done by this time. They have a broken tooth. Is this one, that one, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can kind of get an idea, I guess, of my windows where I'm not going to have that going on.
Yeah.
And then, so then you have me calling this incomplete treatment list,
Yeah.
right? So, okay, I may know a lot of these people, and may not, depends
Mm-hmm.
on how long I've been in the practice. Do I just start at A, or where do I start?
Well, if you don't know anybody, you would start at A. But
Okay.
most people have treatment coordinators know these patients. You presented these cases to these patients before. So where do you start? You start with the ones that you're excited about talking to.
Okay, so maybe, I remember that guy, he's a nice guy, or that lady was
Yes.
really cool.
Yes,
Okay.
like the people you want to talk to.
Okay.
Right? You don't want to get into a situation where they're making phone calls to people that they really do not want to close right now. Or it's not real to them that they're going to close right now.
Well, and I think part of that, too, that gets back into, okay, it's a name on a list.
Yes.
Person has a lot of outstanding treatment.
Yes.
But the doc doesn't want them back in the practice because they were rude to the staff, in which case,
Yeah.
really, that's more the doctor should handle that. That shouldn't be something your treatment coordinator is calling.
No, and sales can be a lot of fun,
Mm-hmm.
but you ruin it when you feel forced to sell and you're not having fun doing it. So I would talk to the nice patients. I would call the patients I like and the ones that I'm excited about getting the treatment. Right now, does that mean I'm not going to follow up on the other ones? No, I'm going to follow up, but I might make sure that those guys are scheduled for their next recall appointment or maybe for a consultation or something like that. Those would probably be better to present face to face again.
All right, so from a decision tree perspective, if I'm calling a patient, they haven't been in the practice in a year,
Yeah,
they needed 4 crowns, and I call them,
yeah.
what am I getting them back in for?
Hygiene.
Okay, because they're overdue for hygiene.
Correct. There's
Makes
zero
sense.
reason to go over their outstanding treatment with them over the phone.
Yeah.
Just get them back in for hygiene as soon as possible. Present it in person is always better.
But if they're not due for hygiene, I'm doing what you said earlier. I'm calling the doc wants to see if it's staying stable or make sure it's staying stable.
Correct. So there's a difference between reaching out to people that you're going to schedule for an appointment and doing follow-up. Right? So a lot of the sales are follow-up. And when I say
Yeah,
follow-up,
explain this follow-up.
yeah, I'm talking about these are patients that didn't close but should have closed. But they have to go talk to their spouse, or they had to go check out something financial, or they had to wait till after they came back from vacation, or there was a reason that sounded legitimate at the time.
That seems to be the common denominator.
Yes.
They're all legitimate reasons.
Yes, they
Yeah.
seemed like legitimate reasons, and we're following up. Now, if you don't follow up, the chances that patient's going to reach out to you, like, hey, I decided, it does happen, right? But they need a little bit of prodding. That's follow-up, right? And then I have my outstanding treatment list.
I see.
That's not really follow-up because now you're selling treatment over the phone, which is usually considered a drag and not super effective. These are people that did not do their treatment.
So those are the
Right.
people. So, okay, let's break this down.
Yeah.
Done my meeting. I'm doing my in-person consultations with the doctor and my financial arrangements.
Yes.
And if there's too many of those in a given day, it's time to get a second treatment coordinator who can do follow-ups.
Yes.
But, okay, let's say we don't have too many. I'm doing 4 presentations a day.
Yes.
So I got time.
Yeah.
So my first thing I'm gonna hit are my follow-ups. Here was Mr. Smith. He was in 2 weeks ago. He's on vacation. He'll be back in a week.
Correct.
So I'm gonna call him next week.
Yes.
And then here's Mrs. Jones. She had to talk to her husband.
Yes.
And then Mrs. Johnson was refinancing her house, and the refi was going to close this week, so I'm supposed to call and follow up. These are people who wanted to do it. There was just some legitimate reason they couldn't do it right now.
Correct.
So I'm doing those.
Yeah, you're doing those.
I've exhausted those.
Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the schedule. And I'm going to take a look at where do I need more sales opportunities. So I first know where to schedule it. And then I'm going to
Like
take...
a la Wednesday.
Yeah, like for example, Wednesday.
Sure.
And these are the openings I have in hygiene, or this is where I can put consultations or whatever. And now I'm going to take my outstanding treatment list and I'm going to follow up on the outstanding treatment. But if the person on the outstanding treatment list is overdue for hygiene, I schedule them for hygiene. When they are not overdue for hygiene, I schedule them for a consultation. So I'm doing something entirely different there. I'm not trying to close these people over the phone. I'm just trying to get them back in.
So I'm putting them on the schedule for a consult with the doc,
Yeah,
or I'm getting them into the hygiene chair.
correct.
Now, interesting problem,
Yes.
right? So we've talked about this so much, it's easier to kind of examine some of the less explored aspects of this,
Yes.
right? And these are the random questions you get.
Yes.
Because it's a good system. I'm going to call, I'm going to put people on the schedule for consults, because I may also have a situation where we look at the schedule today in the morning meeting, and there's, 8 new patients. And we've already got enough to sell today.
Yeah.
And the doc has no time to spend a lot of time with these new patients from a sales perspective. The doc
Yeah.
has time to do the exams.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're going to be bringing people in the next few days for consultations as well.
Yes.
Right, which is cool. But hygiene. So now let's imagine for a second. I can always figure out what to put stuff on the doc's schedule, but my first hygiene opening isn't for like 4 months.
Yeah. So then it might be time to open up more hygiene.
Okay, so this is something I would bring to the office manager's
Yeah.
attention, like, hey, this isn't working.
Correct. And there's always going to be movement. Yeah, if I can't get a hygiene patient in for 4 months, that means that there are patients, a lot of patients, under our care that we can't service properly. So we better bring in some more personnel so we can take care of the patients that consider us to be their doctor, right? That's a problem. So, and then the other problem that creates is that usually only my good patients end up in hygiene. The guys I don't have to chase because I do not have enough hygiene openings.
You're like the real compliant patients.
Yeah, but
some people, they're all good patients per se, but there may be some who are more compliant than
When
others,
I say
right?
good patient, I mean compliant
Got it.
patients. But the compliant
Sorry.
patients, yeah, no,
I
I,
had to,
understand.
I was just had to clarify that in summer. I'm like, I mean, they're bad patients. They're
No,
just not
no.
as compliant. you
No,
know?
they're just a little bit harder to
Corral.
yeah, to corral. That's a good word. So the problem is that your compliant patients have usually already done their treatment,
Right.
which creates a huge problem in that there's nothing to sell in hygiene or very little to sell in hygiene. Right? It's just little stuff or stuff I re-diagnose or the cases we've presented 20 times and that are never going to close, right? And now we become new patient dependent, which that's when the whole system of dentistry collapses.
All right, so no hygiene availability. We need a hygienist.
You need hygienists. You need to get those patients that maybe not as compliant, where all your work is, back on the schedule
Okay.
and work with them to get them the work that they need.
Okay, so I can think with this. This is what I'm doing every day,
Yeah.
making the calls just like you described.
Yes.
So what am I doing on a weekly basis?
Well, I would make sure that since you're responsible for all the collections, I would work with the insurance coordinator just so I have a heads up on what kind of insurances am I expecting, and also did insurances not pay in certain cases where I have to the patient balance or the insurance balance now became the patient balance. I have to call those patients and explain that to them and get the money collected.
Okay.
Right. So those are the other things that I would do on a weekly basis.
When you mentioned they'll have this daily lineup, you called it. Would
Yeah.
I do that for a weekly thing too?
Like a weekly lineup?
Yeah.
You can,
But
I
I'm-
guess. I usually just do it daily.
But am I looking, you mentioned looking at the schedule ahead. Would I look at the next few days of the week?
Yeah, that's something that you would do every day, right? You're always looking ahead at the following week like we just discussed.
Okay, so like let's say Friday is the end of our week.
Yeah.
Am I looking at the whole next week and going, oh man, Thursday looks like we're in trouble?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But you better start looking at the week after that on like Thursday. You don't want to wait till Friday
I
to
see.
find out Monday doesn't look
Got
good.
it. So you're always kind of looking at several days ahead
Exactly.
and then maybe confirming it once a week or
Exactly.
something. Got it.
And also making sure that there's enough time, like in the problem that you just gave,
Mm-hmm.
that, okay, we don't have any openings in hygiene. I have nowhere to
Mm.
put these patients, right? Well, I still have time to move some patients around to get that better balance between sales and production.
Got it. Yeah,
Right.
Thursday stinks, but I have no hygiene openings, so I'm in trouble.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, cool. So that's weekly.
Yes.
And then what about anything monthly?
Monthly, I would look at the outstanding, I would manage that outstanding treatment list monthly. You want to make sure that it's not growing.
Got it.
It's similar to your accounts receivable. You have to understand that the whole purpose behind your dental practice is to get these patients healthy. When that outstanding treatment list keeps growing, 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 and we are not doing a good job converting these patients, right? we are not doing our job, which is getting these patients healthy,
Got it.
right? Then the other thing that they have to do is I would look at the accounts receivable.
All right, so I'm looking at the accounts receivable, obviously, because there's money on there that I need to collect, right?
Right.
But is there anything else I'm looking at on the accounts receivable?
100%. Like credit balances, you're looking like if a patients have huge credit balances, that means that we're selling dentistry, but we're not getting these patients delivered.
I see. So this is money I took from patients, and they're not showing up.
Correct.
Obviously, maybe I'm not calling them myself, but I might talk to the scheduler and go, hey, why isn't so-and-so here?
Correct. But if the scheduler can't get a hold of them, I might call them myself. I mean, the
Okay.
whole reason why I'm selling them treatment is because I want them to be healthy, not just to get their money.
Got it.
Right? So I do have a responsibility for making sure that the agreement the patient and I made is actually being upheld, which was you were going to pay me and I was going to make sure you got the treatment.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, good. And I mean, it really is that simple, isn't it?
It's a simple job and it's a fun job. If you do all aspects of it and it's well coordinated with the rest of the team, right? And I see that a lot where it's just not well coordinated. If everybody understands, like you're working with the scheduler coordinator, you're working with the financial or the insurance coordinator, you're working with the doctor, you're working with the hygienists, right? And we're all working together with the patients, it's a great job.
Got it. Well, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's as always awesome having you here. Do you mind
Yeah.
if anybody has questions about this as they go through? Do you mind if they email me? I can put your email on the
No, of
episode
course not.
webpage. Sabri's email is sabrib@mgonline.com. We'll put a link to it on the episode webpage. Sabri, thanks again.
You are
for
so
coming.
welcome.
I appreciate it. So there you have it, folks. A lot going on, but it's simple to implement, and the upside when you have a great treatment coordinator is huge. I do hope this helps. I have the link I mentioned to DDS Success to that treatment coordinator course in the episode webpage. And if you want to find out more about MGE, you can find us online at mgeonline.com or call us at 800-640-1140. Folks, have a great week, and we'll see you at the next episode.